Right, so welcome back. It is Monday morning, it's gone 8:30, and behind me the girls is doing their work. And they're all over the place here at the minute. There's one in here too, and she's clearing out some of the old silage. Yes, you might wonder, it's Monday morning. Why are the kids not at school? Well, there's a very good reason for that. So yesterday morning, Sunday morning, our plan was to get up nice and early, get all the jobs done, everything sorted, and go off to Dundalk for the day and get a few bits and pieces for Christmas, like a lot of yous might do. So I had my milking done, everything was going to plan. I got a phone call at 8 o'clock, it was my wife, and she said, we're not going to be going anywhere today. She said, Elena, that's the John Deere fan that a lot of yous might see, wasn't feeling the best this morning, and she had a little bit of a stuffy nose. She had 2 of them estrogen tests done in the house, and both of them were positive for COVID. So a lot of our schools around here, we kind of expected it. We don't know the full results yet of Elena, my wife, or anyone else yet, because we're waiting for them PCR tests to come back probably this evening or tomorrow, and we'll know more then. But so the kids are automatically off school. They're going to be off school for probably the week, I'd say, depending on how the thing goes. We're going to treat it like we all have COVID. We're going to stay away from places now. I have places I needed to go today, and I've guys I've got to go to see, but managed to change all. We're going to do most of that stuff now on the phone. I have my meal being coming today. You'll probably see that maybe in this video. Yeah, I might throw that into this video. So I'll go over and just tell them where it has to go and stay away from them. I'm not going to fill them up tight to them. I might get the drone up, maybe from a distance, and run it, but we'll see what happens. But that's the way our week has started. Everybody's fine. Elena's absolutely fine. Just a little head cold, and that's it. Nothing else. We just have to get on with it. Our silage is going to go in. One of the girls is going to do a bit of camera work for me, which is good. That's good to have them for that. I was going to put this in this morning, not film it. I'm kind of in a rush at the minute of lots of things I need to get done this morning, so I wasn't going to film it, but then I said to myself, you know what, Asian, you're on YouTube. It wouldn't be fair not to film it, because it is the first of the silage coming out, and people really do want to see it. So I went down, got the camera, got it all set up. So let's just get up on the tractor. I haven't even got the shear grab sharpened. It's as blunt as beetle, and this will be messy. It's always messy when you put in the first of the silage, because it takes a while to get back to get a nice clean surface, so you get a nice clean block. So these are all going to be wee half blocks and stuff, and it's going to spill all over the yard. That's the way it works for a while. So pass no remarks on that. It's only going to be small amounts that we're putting in at the beginning, and then we'll get larger, more solider blocks as we go back. Oh yeah, be interested to see how this works now. It's the first time it's ever had a shear grab on the front of it. I imagine it's going to be way easier. This down at 4, just the shuttle itself is going to make it so much easier when feeding cattle. Alright, so that's them fed. Now the steam you're seeing is from cattle's breaths, not from the silage. The silage, just have a look closely. It's hardest doing the steam. The silage, oh man, farmers will know. You can tell an awful lot when you get used to things by smelling your silage and handling your silage. By looking at it, by the colour of it, everything about it looks excellent to me. Some of you might see me out with a shovel. I'd say a lot of you do that. I just like to keep the face of it clean. It's given a bit of rain, and if the silage stays in the ground and the rain gets on it, cattle don't really like to eat it. It's not hard to jump at the tractor every now and again and just give it a bit of a tidy up. As I get further in, I'll have to do less and less of that because I'll have a nice clean face like this here. You might notice how close the blade comes to the cows, yes. But remember, this is the first time I put in the silage with this pit, and I had the cows fed late last night and there wasn't enough of silage here this morning to keep them going to evening. I tend to do, when I can, is when I bring the cows in the evenings, I feed them at night, and I bring them into the yard for milking, then I put in the silage before I milk. It takes me only about 15 minutes to put the silage in. That way the house is empty and there's none of that. But you just have to be really careful. I've never caught an animal yet, touch wood, but you never know. It is always risky. One thing I need to also say is I learn a lot from YouTube. You guys might get tips from me, but I'm certainly getting a lot of tips from you. When I used to put this silage in, I think at the beginning of the channel, I was using a shear grab on the back of my 6470, just a 3-point linkage shear grab. That's all I ever had up until then. But one thing I noticed was the wheels were probably so wide on the 6470. When I went in here, there wasn't much room to actually manoeuvre too much. So what I used to do was just drop the block straight and drive straight out. That left you throwing silage back. When I got the loader fitted, I done the same thing. But fans quickly said to me, well, there's 2 or 3 fans in particular, quickly said to me, and I can't remember your names, but thank you if you remember who you are. Adrian, you're doing that wrong. Drop your block, go out and get your next block, and come back in and push that block around. That way you'll have next to no silage to throw back. And that was such a good tip. So I owe you for that one. It has made life a lot easier for me. Alright, so that's the guys away. So that was Paul Cooney, that's the man who built this bin for us. I didn't do an interview with him because I have to presume we have COVID in our house and I don't want to risk going anywhere close to anybody. I'd never forgive myself if someone caught something from us, so we didn't do an interview. I just kept way back from them and let them do their job. My drone, on the other hand, annoyed me because it wouldn't fly. I got a new phone and I forgot, I don't know what's wrong, but it won't pair up. And it wouldn't fly, so that's why I used my GoPro, and hopefully you got a good enough look at it going up. It's quite straightforward. It's not a big bin, it's a 5-ton bin, which, you know something, for the lock of cattle is here, 5 ton is plenty. I bought this bin at Paul Cooney Sales. That's the contact there if you need it. Lavy Stradone in the lovely County Cavan. When I went to pick this bin, I wasn't going to go anywhere else, really. I did price it in another company, but I really knew I was going to end up buying of Cooney's. The reason being very, very simple. They're local to me. They're only a stone throw away from me. And the other bin you see so often on our other farm, guess what? A brother of his actually built this, the Cooney family as well. So we're just going back to where we got our bins before, because that bin is in 13 years and it's as good as the day it went in. I'm always saying this, but it is always nice to support local companies. I like to support them as much as I can because they are the backbone of the area around you, so you really should try, if at all possible. Obviously it isn't Grant, it's not painted. I didn't bother with any Grant for the price of it, and sometimes the hassle that goes along with Grants can be a pain in the backside, and you know what, I didn't want to bother with any of that. I just bought this bin fully myself. This is my own. Why we went for 5 ton, some people say, would you not buy a 10 ton? I don't need it. They've been at home, believe it or not, now, and this might surprise a lot of people. The bin at home I think is an 8 or 9 ton bin. I'm not positive sure, it's in around that. And I've never put more than 5 tonne into it. Never put more. Normally, actually, what I order is about 4.5 tonne. That's what I order. I just get it often. Keep the meal kind of fresh, because sometimes you can get a dusty load of meal, sometimes you get clean nuts. We all know what it can be like. It just goes with the temperature and the meal and things. I didn't need a big bin. This is a nice, handy little bin. It'll serve this purpose very, very well. Paul said something to me when he was here, and this is in relation to all meal bins. There's a couple of things he said he wished farmers would do when they have their bin, and he says if they did, it'd make their lives much, much easier. A lot of times you go into farms and you might see a bit of corrosion on this bottom cone here. One thing people should do, no matter what type of bin you have, you should empty your bin at least once a year. Let it get completely empty. A lot of dairymen, like myself, probably never let their bin go empty. Well, I did this last few times. I think I put it on my video, got caught out. And if you do, bins like this can last 50 years. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but he really emphasised that to me, and he said to me, tell people that. Doesn't matter where your bin comes from. Empty it down at least once or twice a year. Seemingly makes a big difference. So I just said I'd pass that on to you. I always thought this galvanise here was the kind of galvanise you get in a sheet of a house. I was wrong. That's high tensity steel. It comes actually from Turkey. Probably a lot of the bins are the same. Would have been the same steel it probably went on a sheds years and years and years ago. We all know stuff isn't as good as it was years ago. I never knew that. It was good to know. There you go. You know it now, like myself. So we got a spout put on here for filling our tipsy bin in the summertime, and then we have also our spout down here for filling our buckets as we feed our calves. So it's straightforward. It's another job completed. I'm glad to get it. Yes, there was a delay, but he explained a couple of things to me that I didn't actually know, which made sense. So we're happy to get it now. Now the most expensive part of the whole thing is the stuff that actually goes in it, and that I have to order now. It'd be nice to get it over here now. That means no more runs to the co-op, maybe for the odd bags of meal for cows, nuts and things like that, but all our meal now can be delivered, and that's one more or less job that I'll have to do. So that's it for the day. Nicole's telling me to hurry up there in the back. She says it's freezing cold with her lovely hat, heavy jacket on her and scarf as normal, and she's freezing cold. Anyway folks, thanks very much for watching as always. You know the usual crack. Give us a sub, give us a like if you enjoy what you're watching. Till the next one, we'll talk to you again.